So anyways, welcome to the cyber security workshop. So as you know that this is one of the demo workshop which was conducted. And yes, my name is Baba Shahir. I will be the trainer for your cyber security program for the whole. Yeah, well, coming up to my experience, I hold totally 8 years experience in cyber security in various areas. So that includes SOC operations, forensics, penetration testing, and right now I'm completely into audits, cyber security pen testing audits. So this is in short about my profile. And coming up to the training, what are the modes we are going to cover in this training? So let's first let me brief you. So as you know, this complete training is we are planning to conduct on a core level. So in terms of the core level, we will be focusing on the areas like networks, and we'll be covering on web application, networks, web application, and as well as the miscellaneous security concepts. So if you want me to elaborate on this, in terms of network, we will be looking into the security standards, how a network implementation will happen in the real time. So like basically when you are communicating over any medium, so what are the ways a possibility of getting attacked, and what are the steps will be taken for mitigation? So that will be covered in the network part. So we will be discussing the scanning over networks and sniffing over networks. So that will be covered in the network area. In web application area, we will be discussing about web servers, web applications, followed by the SQL injection methodologies and the OWASP top 10 techniques in web applications. In the miscellaneous security concepts, I'll be covering the information gathering strategies, followed by system security, malware, and social engineering concepts, wireless security, mobile security. Now, more majorly, we will be covering the topic of cryptography as well. So these are the various topics which we'll be covering in the core level training. So these are the topics overview, and of course we will be having an elaboration. So I'll be very soon sharing the information, what in elaborate, like what are the information we are going to gather. Basically, first I'll be starting with the importance of information security. Well, if you take any areas, it doesn't matter like which area you are from, anything like either in the education area or in the medical or in the automotive industry or OT, anywhere. So there is always some importance. So data is nothing but it could be a customer data or it could be a product data. So this data is having a lot of importance. So now we are going to make sure this particular data must be ensure a good security. So basically what organizations do, so they will make sure the customer data, what they are maintaining should be very, very secure. If you look into the recent breaches, so we have a Domino's breach and we have a breach in Big Basket. We have a breach occurred in Air India. So you see that the customer data has been breached and the information was publicly visible and stolen. And this information was publicly available for sale. So at this information may contain your personal email address, and this information can contain your sensitive information. Sensitive. Take a look, like if you go and verify the websites like Have I Been Pwned. So this is going to give you a confirmation on how many areas your email ID has been compromised. So you can see almost 18 data breaches the email ID was part of. BigBasket, which is in the recent attack, and we something like Clear Service, and yes, Domino's, so Dropbox, Dubsmash. So these all are the areas. And in April 2021, the Domino's was occurred. Almost 13 TB of data was compromised, which is available. And this contains your personal email address, personal address, whatever you have stored in Domino's application. It includes everything. So ultimately, as a part of organizational security, it is very important for the organization to maintain a proper security for their data, what they are maintaining. So they will be following certain standards. So you will be having a information security framework. Information security framework. As per the information security framework, let's say, first if you talk about the data security. In data security, we have a triad called a CIA triad. CIA, so this is the CIA triad, confidentiality, integrity, availability. We refer the terms as CIA. Let me show you. This is how the CIA triad looks. Now in this CIA triad, confidentiality is about the information what maintained by the organization. Integrity is nothing but, let's suppose if you are trying to send one data to some other place, like from one place to another place, you are transmitting the data. There is a chance that someone might able to tamper the data in the middle. So how the assurity will be maintained? Basically, this integrity is a cryptographic term. So in cryptographic term, the integrity, how we are going to ensure, let's take you are sending a email. So your email will be delivered to the recipient. What is the surety that the email what you had sent from source to destination is genuine or fake? I mean, like whether there is no tampering occurred. So the tampering based information will be validated with the help of data integrity. We have various cryptographic algorithms for verifying the data integrity here. And we will make sure the data is also available for the usage. So because let's say you are using a bank account, and if the bank is every time saying that the server is not available and the server is not reachable, definitely you are going to switch to a new bank. The organization, when it is providing a certain service for you, it should make sure the data what it is maintaining should be available. So the user based data must be available for the whenever the user wants to access it. That is very, very important. So this is for data security and the CIA triad. And just in this case, so following the data security, let's suppose um, we have physical security is also part of the organization information security management framework. So this is also part of this. In a physical security, every organization should make sure the organization based CCTV cameras. So the organization watchman, the organization fence, electric fence of the organization, and biometrics, and you can take any man traps. See, man traps are nothing but if any unauthorized person is coming into an area, there will be some man traps which will be known to the people who are working inside. So if an unknown person is coming inside, so they cannot go so quick back. You can see. So these are the man traps because only a person who is authorized with a proper access control can only be accessed. So otherwise they cannot able to go exit. So this is one way how we can able to stop some people who are not authorized and can come in. So we can able to restrict the people very easily. So these are man traps. Physical security is also one more important standard. Now, one more important thing is why we need to provide this level of security in every organization. So what is the main reason behind this? I told you that this is for data security. So why the security is being maintained? So if you take a look, basically you take a server as an example. A server may contain a lot of data. So you use data like database server or any casual server you can take. So this is going to cover a lot of data. Now, in this server, if you take, definitely there will be some kind of a vulnerability. Vulnerability is nothing but weakness. So this is going to be identified by some targets. But in order to get and reach this server, they have to they have to pass through various barriers. So the first barrier in order to reach this server is physical security. Physical security. The second barrier is policies of organization. The third barrier is you can take the organization network security. We can call it as perimeter security. Next, we can take host security. Then comes the data security. So these are the various ways which will be followed. These many stages the attacker has to cross in case if you want to access the data available in a specific sensitive server. Now, in order to mitigate this, organization will have some strict policies where they are going to not authorize, like not allow any kind of unauthorized user to access this access the sensitive data. Unauthorizedly, without proper permission, you cannot trespass into any some sensitive areas. So these are the part of our information security management framework. Now, like generally in this cyber security, how the hackers are interested to steal the data, how the hackers are interested to capture any kind of a data. So what exactly they are, if you take a look, basically we refer the term as information gathering. Let's say I want to hack into some organization, I want to gather information about something, or else my target is a person, I have his email ID xyz@123.com something. How can I gather the information? So in this information gathering process, I am going to take the help of some tools, so which can be using the application programming interface, APIs, and I'm going to integrate multiple tools and get the API information. So let me show you. See, basically for performing this different type of attacks, so we will be using Kali Linux and Parrot operating system. Kali Linux and Parrot operating system are specially designed only for the purpose of information security testing purpose. And if you look into any operating system, either it is Kali Linux or Parrot OS, both operating systems already contains a lot of tools inside. So I'll show you both operating systems for you. And these are completely open source.
And what about this Red Hat Linux?
Red Hat Linux, see, Linux is one thing. Red Hat is one of the organization which is uh, making you to use the Linux in a different way. Linux is
Yeah,
just an open source platform, and definitely Linux is important for us because if you want to use the Parrot security or Kali Linux, this is completely based on Linux commands. If you don't know Linux, so we cannot able to go further. But during the training, automatically when you are practicing the things, you will habituate with the Linux as well. And you can see there are a lot of tools which are already built in Parrot and Kali operating system. And here, if you, I'm going to take the tool like Maltigo. So this tool, what it will do, it will help me to perform the information gathering about any person. I can gather information about a person, not only a person, even if you want to gather information about an targeted domain, so we can able to even gather with it. See, basically for information gathering, there are hundreds of tools. So we will be using the industrial best standard ways of tools, which will be very much useful and helpful even for the learners. So we'll use those tools for making them to understand in a better way. And even for the beginner level, if you are going into an entry level job, so you might be familiar with the tool, how to use it, how to work with it. So it will be much easier. So this is how the interface looks. And I have integrated various APIs already here. Okay, just a moment. Just a moment. I think there is some issue with the password. Yeah. So now here you can see these are the various tools where I have integrated those tools with the help of an API. So here if I take a new graph, okay. So let's say I want to target some domain. So what I will do here, just choose a domain. Let's say zomato.com. So right click and run the possible transformations. So anything related to Zomato will be helping me to gather the information. You see here. So let me gather everything. Okay, it's working. You can see related to Zomato, it is collecting the complete information. Now it's all about how you master the tool, like how we can understand deeper about usage of the tool is important. So here, most of the information gathering, whatever the essential information is required, that complete information can be gathered with the help of this single tool. So we gather the information, name server records. So what are the purpose of the record and why we use the record? So we will be explaining in the training. So completely the information related to the DNS, everything, it is showcasing. Now, actually, we are not doing any hacking here. What we are just trying to show you is publicly whatever the information available related to Zomato, we took the information and we are just exposing them. And it is showcasing the information of the person as well. See, say. So this is how you collect the information about your target and completely use it. So these are the various ways. So I'll be like we will be doing the information gathering. Well, this is one method. Next thing is I told you that we have a lot of tools. Now, let's say one tool here that is the harvester. Now using this, what type of information we can gather here is, so let's say I will take the harvester here and I will give one target, let's say Microsoft.com, and I will limit the total results for 100, and I will give LinkedIn. So when I give LinkedIn and when I target Microsoft.com, so this is going to help me to gather the complete Microsoft based employees LinkedIn details. So whatever the LinkedIn information available publicly, the information will be exposed. You see? So we limited the results to 100 like so. Satya Nadella, Chairman and CEO Microsoft. So V Mahir Microsoft, HR Administration, President. You see, completely all different account information. So this is completely visible to us. So when we run the harvester tool. Now harvester is not only one single tool. For information gathering purpose, you can just notice how many tools are available. So these are the tools, and you can see the harvester is just one of the tools. For everything we have multiple tools. Out of that we will be using the most important tools which are used for information gathering and work on with it. So this is one way how we can able to gather the information. Now that is how the information gathering can be done. Now the second step is, suppose when you are performing a scanning, identifying the vulnerabilities of on the target is very important. So for this, what we will do, we will take the help of the scripts like tools like Nmap. So this is the most powerful tool basically, and we will be using this tool for scanning the targets. So let's take one example. Okay, let's say Nmap, and just imagine that you will have a target. Okay, so I will take one target here. This is one of my local web application which I have. I'm taking this. And here, the IP address which I'm using here is 10.10.10.12. Okay, so we'll do one thing. We'll target this IP address. Let's say -s capital S -T5 -V -S capital V 10 10 10 13 13 or 11 12, right? Okay, so when I executed this, you can see it is showing me the complete open port information. So it is showing the discovered open port on so and so. So it is showing me the complete information about the target. And if you wait for a while, it will show me the information about the target operating system and target based any open services, the version information and everything. Basically, Nmap is completely a very powerful pen testing tool which can help you to understand and get the information very effectively. Basically, why we are going to use Nmap is whenever you identify any vulnerability. So vulnerability is nothing but weakness. Now, some kind of a tool. So you have various vulnerability scanning tools. So the tools like Nessus, Qualys, GFI LandGuard. These are the different type of tools we have. Now, whenever these tools are showcasing you a weakness, we need to verify whether the weakness is really existed or not existed. So for that purpose, what we will do, we will take the help of the tools like Nmap, and we can run the scan as many times as we want. And you can see -S capital S -S capital F 10 10 10 12. So this is going to showcase me the out very quickly open port information. So let's say you found that port number 22 is open, right? What you can do, you can try it. Like you can able to say SSH at the rate SSH admin @ 192, sorry, 10.10.10.12. So this is going to give you the SSH access. Suppose if you know the password of SSH, you can log in. Suppose if you don't know the password, your password is wrong. So what we have to do, we have to do the password cracking. And for password cracking, we have different strategies. So basically for password cracking, we use the techniques like dictionary attack, brute force attack. So these are the different, like, of course, we have different type of attacks, script analysis attack. So hash injection attack, we have different attacks. So we use these different type of attacks for cracking the passwords of the target. Now, in order to crack the passwords, we will be using different type of proxy servers. And these proxy servers will help us to hide us. So basically for maintaining an anonymity, so you can use the proxy servers. And in the proxy servers, while we are explaining, we will be discussing about a TOR network. So we call this as the onion router. So onion router is nothing but is a one onion network, Tor network, which will help you to connect with deep web and dark web. We will even cover the deep web and dark web concepts. So with the help of proxy chains and password cracking techniques. And after that, let's say if you are cracking into any system and getting access, then we will be installing malware like Trojan, virus, and we will be taking the system under control. So with the help of the infected system, we can perform DOS and DDoS attacks. And we can able to sniff the data and take over any sensitive information. So like this, the whole complete training is associated with a lot of things. And remember, everything is not separate content. Complete training information, whatever we are going to cover, it is interconnected with everything. Like password cracking is interconnected with proxy servers. Proxy servers is interconnected with malware. Malware is interconnected with DDoS. DDoS is interconnected with passwords again. Like this, everything is interconnected here. And this is a core level training, whatever we are going to perform. And in this core level training, you can able to achieve the very perfect knowledge, which is essential for you to take on to the next level. See, basically, when you talk about the cybersecurity, most of the people will believe that, let's say if I watch some like a 2 to 3 trainings of Linux or some other tools, so that is the cybersecurity. But actually, if you have to devote to this cybersecurity, you have to allow yourself at least some couple of months and learn the basics. So once you are perfectly good and believe that the basics are fundamentally, if I am strong, then from further level you can go. And remember, this is a purely core level. This is not a basic level training. This is a core level training. In a basic level training, the complete information is different. So, but we are not going to train anything on basic. We will train you on a core level so that once the core level is completed, at the end of the training, I will give you even information about how you can able to follow up with the advanced level global certifications and how you can challenge the certifications and how do you can achieve the success. So that will also be guided during my training. So this is in short about the information, and like due to the shortage of time, I covered very less. But anyways, if you have any questions to ask, you can feel free to communicate, guys. I'll resolve your questions.
Yeah, a small query. Suppose encryption is there
Yes.
now. Yeah, means suppose we have
Yes.
typed some password, it will not directly
Sir,
come. It will some.
your voice.
Hello, my voice
Yeah,
is not
please
audible.
go ahead. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
suppose you have typed
yes,
one
yes. Now it
password.
is clear.
Yeah, password. Suppose end. Suppose you typed AND. While sending,
Hmm.
instead of A, it will change to some other characters like one star two. Suppose.
Yeah. So that is called
And
cipher. Yes, yes. Cipher we
yeah,
can call it
and
as.
yes, and the second time you have password, you have entered another password. Suppose and A and T, and for A here also
Hmm.
one star
Yeah.
three only will come now. Then same thing is going means then cyber security,
See,
how it will be there?
basically,
They can attack that also, no?
no, no. Actually,
Some,
here,
yeah.
whenever you are giving some information, you see, let's take this text. And for every type of conversion, you will not use the same method. We generally have an algorithm to convert the present type of plain text to a cipher text. So as per your question, let's say you are giving A and D, okay, and A and T. If you
Yeah.
say the letters are like HUK, okay, so only the receiver who knows how to decrypt the password, who knows how to decrypt the method, can only able to crack it. Of course, you will have common letters, but common letters will not give any disturbance because whatever you are talking about the encryption, that is something related with mathematics. So that's why when you are doing any kind of encryption, so the mathematical algorithm will be followed. You take any kind of
Okay.
algorithm here, so it will be
Means I'm
followed
thinking
by the
that suppose,
mathematical concept.
yeah, for every time for A, the same letter will come or else it may change.
No, it will be same. Like see, it I told you, right? It depends on the algorithm again. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
suppose if I'm using vinegar cipher. So if I give some keyword called Google here, your information, whatever you are giving, and so you gave and it became GBR. So if I give A and T, so it is becoming GBH. The last character is changing, right? But you will
Yeah.
not use this kind of plain text password. Basically, when you are using any kind of passwords, you should use these kind of letters. Let's say if I queue this kind of complex password, it is becoming more complex. So there is no chance of cracking it. And security is all about not using the things in a simple way. So when you are maintaining a security, you have to use it in a complex
Yeah. Understood.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Any more questions, guys? You can please let me know if you have any questions. At least in the chat.
Yeah, hi. Nemo. I heard one term, cross-site scripting. So, is this a part of
Sorry.
this cross-site scripting?
Heard about scripting? No. See, actually,
Cross-site.
scripting is something related with development.
Okay.
Yeah. Something is something related to development. We are not going to talk anything about development in the course. Yeah.
It's about configure something, right?
Yes. Any more queries, guys?
To that, for Linux environment, any flavors, there is no antivirus, no? Suppose in Windows, we are having many antivirus like
Yeah.
Northern antivirus or anything. But in Linux flavors,
Yeah.
in any of the
Yes.
flavors, there is no antivirus.
Yeah. There is no antivirus for Linux. That's why it is considered as a most vulnerable operating system, right?
Yeah.
Linux is a most vulnerable operating system if you compare with Windows. Linux, see, basically, I'm not pointing out that Linux is vulnerable and Windows is more secure. Comparative in the security, there are many operating systems in Linux which affected with various vulnerabilities. And there are certain operating systems, if you take a Qube's operating system, this is the best operating systems in terms of security, Qube's OS. And even if you take Linux, Linux is also one of the best operating system in terms of security. So these are best. Okay, these
Yeah.
doesn't require operating system, doesn't require any kind of antivirus. The reason is the operating system structure is designed in such a way that the particular vulnerabilities, whatever it is, especially coming inside, so they cannot able to bring up so much of damage like on Windows. But even in Linux also we have virus, we have malwares, we have everything. Yeah.
Okay.
So most of the people have like they don't focus on that. They think that Linux doesn't infected with virus. But yes, in Linux also we have malware.
Okay.
Comparative with the Linux, the severity will be less.
Okay. Means I saw in net that there is no antivirus in for Linux. That's the reason. Means I got doubt that whether
Yeah, yes, of course,
nobody
of
can
course.
attack.
See, one more example I can tell you. Linux is a open source, and you are going to customize the Linux as per your requirement. Completely, you can customize. And with the help
Yeah.
of this customization only, they had built iOS. You know, iOS.
Yeah.
Sorry, not iOS. Uh, Apple operating system. So Mac. So right now we are using Mac Big Sur. So Big Sur, if you take the code, so this is a Linux distro. But only thing is, this is patented by the Apple, the user interface, whatever they develop, that is completely something different. And if you take Linux, so macOS is a Linux-based distro, right? Antivirus, if you take antivirus for Mac, so they have it. You see, these all are them antivirus for Mac.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Any more questions? Mr. Alpesh, Mayank, Meher, Murali, Nirmal, Soma, Subbu.
It's all about setting configuration, right?
Oh, sorry.
So my question is,
Hello.
in this course, what we will we will do actually. I mean, it's all about configuration setting or kind of.
No. See, this is all about core level, where if any user wants to step into the cybersecurity as a career and want to step in, so this course is useful for them to kickstart.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, I hope we can conclude the session. Yes. Well, guys, then thank you so much. In that case, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.